Hey guys, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping, and I just want to air my opinion real quick on a topic that I've heard some people talking about lately. Now, the role of the modern Minuteman isn't something that I think about too much, but it is something that I used to think about quite a bit. And lately I've heard people talking about the modern Minuteman as purely a revolutionary, somebody who's prepared for the Second American Civil War or from some kind of Chinese incursion. And I don't think that it's wrong to be prepared for those kinds of things, but in my mind, the modern Minuteman is quite a bit different than that, and even from what it was back in the day. Now, back in the day, the Minuteman was a regular colonist or person, a homesteader, who was ready at a minute or just a few minutes' notice to go out and defend his family and his neighbors from various threats. And historically speaking, we usually conflate this with the British. But the American militiamen and colonists who are ready to defend their area exists since before the British were a threat to them directly in an overt way. Militiamen often had to deal with Native Americans or other colonists or fires or various other threats, and Minutemen were often the kinds of people who could throw their boots on and grab a tool, whether that be a shovel or a musket or an axe or a bucket or what have you, and go to defend their community from whatever the threat was. And it's a bit more exciting to always conflate this with Paul Revere running through an area and a bunch of men grabbing their muskets to go and fight the British, and to think of ourselves in a similar way to grab our AR-15s and go out and defend our neighborhood from the Reds or from the provisional federal government or what have you. But in a lot of preparedness situations, we're going to be facing threats besides other people. And even those other people might be people from other neighborhoods, even if we are facing them. And so, in my mind, the Minuteman of today needs to be something different than just someone who's ready to go out and have a good fight, as exciting as that might be. We need to be ready to go out and put out fires that threaten whole neighborhoods. We need to go out, be ready to help people put houses up if theirs have burnt down, things like that. You wake up in the middle of the night, you might not hear gunshots, you might see a fire from the next neighborhood over and need to go check that out. And you might bring your gun, but you will also be bringing a few other things. And I think that as people who want to think of ourselves as ready to go on a moment's notice, which I think is a good trait for many preppers to have if you are able to, I think it's far more important to be ready for just about anything, much like these men were, than just to be prepared to go and have a fight. Because again, the things that we as preppers wake up and might find ourselves needing to go and do in a very big hurry will likely be very varied compared to just violence. And I would really like to see young, able bodied men preparing for anything than just for a good fight, because we're really going to need that as a society if some of these really bad things start happening. Anyways, thanks for watching. Share your comments in the section down below, and stay tuned with Let's Talk About Prepping for future videos. Stay safe out there, everyone.